India has more fake doctors than real ones, 25 lakh by one estimate. So there's a good chance that you are going to a quack even if he or she are practicing at a top-end hospital.
Clearly, Shreya, that is worrying because India's crumbling healthcare infrastructure has almost made quacks a necessary evil. And will a crackdown in just one state help matters? It is the big investigation breaking here on Epicentre. In the headlines first. Doctors or merchants of death, CNN News 18 exposes the fake degree racket in West Bengal. 6 fake doctors identified and over 500 have been identified, including a president's awardee.
Is your doctor a quack? We are opening up our phone lines on the show right away. You can call us on 0120-434-1895. Let me repeat that number for you, 0120-434-1895. Our phone lines now open. We'd like to hear from you.
But before that, what else is making news? No support from Rahul Gandhi. Sandeep Dixit gets slammed for his comments against the army chief, says there is no need for any politician to speak about the head of the Indian Army.
The political drama playing out in Tamil Nadu, merger talks between the EPS and the OPS factions has failed. The law minister, an EPS supporter, lands in Delhi, bombards the election commission with 4 truckloads of affidavits in an attempt to claim the AIADMK party symbol.
And it's now official that Anil Kumble will continue as Team India coach for the West India series. But what after that?
Our top story is one that puts a huge question mark over our healthcare system and one that shows how fake doctors with fake degrees have infiltrated the medical fraternity. In the last 1 month, 6 people have been arrested in West Bengal for posing as doctors. They all have degrees, mind you. They have MBBS degrees, MD degrees, even an MRCP degree. But they are all fake, bought for a paltry sum of 10,000 rupees. In fact, one of these quacks who has been arrested by the Bengal CID even had a president's award.
That is clearly, Shreya, you know, what is more important is, and all these so-called doctors are practicing at high-end, top-end hospitals in Bengal, charging a huge fee from patients. Why was no background check done on them? And what explains the fact that there are more fake doctors in India than real ones? Shagata Mukhopadhyay and Prema Rajaram have filed the story.
"38-year-old Banasri Bhandari, a housewife from Howrah, was nearly killed after she made a visit to a so-called doctor in her locality last November. 6 months later, Banasri can barely walk and is still traumatized. It was on the basis of her husband Bolanath's FIR that Bengal CID arrested Rama Shankar on Monday. His medical degrees and registration number were all fake. He had a series of alphabets after his name: MBBS, Biochem, MD, DIAAMS, DMALT. All of them issued by a fake medical council.
I am cured now, but I am terrified of the occurrence of a similar incident. I am scared to visit any doctor now. I am scared that I may have to go through it again. I was pushed in the dark. I battled with my life because I had no hopes to live. I hope he gets a very strict punishment so that no other person can think of doing such a thing with anyone else.
She was detected of a rare skin disorder called Stephen Johansson's disease. The doctors in the hospital told me it would be a miracle to keep my wife alive. She is still recovering. I confronted the doctor later, but he threatened me, so I didn't do anything.
Total with medicine.
Sample this, 24-year-old Subhendu Bhattacharya, who claimed to be the world's youngest member of Royal College of Physicians or MRCP, managed to fool hundreds and even the President of India. His Facebook profile reads that he has studied at the Oxford University and proudly flaunts a photograph of being awarded by none other than the President, Pranab Mukherjee. He was practicing using another doctor's registration number. It would have gone undetected if he hadn't been arrested.
Definitely this is very dangerous. Fake doctor treating patient is a dangerous situation. This cannot happen like this.
If you thought that these fake doctors duped patients only in rural and semi-urban areas, think again. Because some of these imposters who are already in police net were operating right in the heart of Kolkata and were attached to some of the most reputed private hospitals of the city.
At least 3 of Kolkata's biggest and most reputed private hospitals have now been found to have hired fake doctors. Arrested Ajit was masquerading as a gynecologist in one of Kolkata's leading hospital, Kothari Medical Centre, for the last 21 years. At 2,500 per visit, his patients thought they were in safe hands. He prescribed allopathic medicines, even conducted endoscopies. In reality, he was a medical representative who began assisting doctors and had a degree in homeopathy. Bellevue, another top Kolkata clinic, had a fake of its own. Allergy specialist Naren Pandey, when arrested, he claimed he had a Unani degree. But even that is a lie. He was well connected to police officers, bureaucrats and politicians.
In Unani, Yoga naturopathy and homeopathy, Ayurveda, there are hundreds of fake doctors. They should be investigated elaborately, and I think they will be arrested, the fake doctors. And they are working as modern medicine medical officers in various non-government nursing homes.
So far we have arrested 7 persons in these 3 cases. Out of them 6 are doctors who are fake, and 1 is the owner of the organization, which is a fake organization in the name of Alternative Medicine Council of Calcutta. He was the owner, he has been arrested.
The registration details of around 1 lakh doctors are being verified by the West Bengal Medical Council. As far as the investigations go, around 500 fake doctors are under the scanner and more arrests are likely to be made. With Chogoto Mukhopadhyay in Kolkata, Prema Rajaram.
Now you can well imagine how well entrenched quacks are in India's healthcare system when one of them is awarded by the President of India himself. Now the government of India is saying that in the next 6 months they will have details of all doctors online for the benefit of patients. But that announcement has come way too late for patients like Banashri. She's from Kolkata. She had gone to her neighborhood doctor with fever. She came back with a rare medical condition called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. This is her story.
November 8, Banashri complains of fever. On the recommendation of a family friend, they go to this man. He administers her an injection and makes her swallow a nemucilide pill, which is banned in India. Soon after, she feels discomfort, nausea and collapses. It was the beginning of a nightmare. Skin rash, blisters, followed by massive eye and throat inflammation. Banashri's skin started peeling off. The first hospital she went to couldn't diagnose the case. The second hospital too couldn't treat her. It was only at the third place, Mercy Hospital, that the side effect of the so-called doctor's treatment was diagnosed. Due to reaction to the medicines, Banashri had developed a rare medical condition called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. She was told the chance of survival was less than 10%. After a 20-day ICU stay and 30 days in the hospital, she finally went home. But 6 months on, she can barely walk. After her return home last December, her husband, Bholanath, tried to confront the quack. but he was threatened and shooed away. Yesterday, after the statewide raids on fake doctor racket, the imposter was confronted again and arrested. But for Banashri, it's still a bitter pill to swallow.
The doctor-patient ratio in India is 1:2000 against the WHO norm of 1:1000. After our story was broadcast, the Union Health Ministry has said that they will be taking this up with the government of Bengal. But the story certainly has raised worrying questions on India's healthcare industry. Is the appalling doctor-patient ratio the reason why quacks are able to pass on as doctors? Joining us now, Dr. Usha Mohandas, who is the president of Doctors Against Corruption, and Dr. R.N. Tandon, he is the Secretary General of IMA. Usha, I'm coming to you. The Medical Council and the Dental Council of India are both under the scanner because of corrupt practices. Medical colleges don't comply with norms and yet they mandate certification. The Union Health Ministry says the state government has to answer. The question is, the buck stops with whom?
Well, it's a very, very difficult question because I would say that you're asking me whether the chicken came first or the egg. And I would just state that for the last 10 years, I personally have been fighting cases and I personally have been making representations not only regarding fake doctors, but universities which are just make-do universities. They're just handing over degrees at the drop of a hat. What happened to the state dental and the medical councils? They are supposed to monitor all of this. What happens to the universities from the so-called where these guys have got their degrees? It's all about money. And even medicine, which is supposed to be a noble profession and not a business, has unfortunately turned out to be a business today. And guess what? Money is the driver and ethics has taken a backseat. You cannot hold only the doctors responsible. It was the duty of the hospital to have checked whether the doctors were legit and they were legally qualified. It was also the responsibility of the university, which is supposedly have given that degree, to have kept a roster. We don't have a roster in India. We don't have the list of doctors that pass out every year. Every time I've tried to do some research, the statistics are never updated. Please go to the website of some of these research organizations, including government and private. You just see when was the last update done. When you have systems in place, you call it Digital India, you have everything which is so wired and connected. I don't see that a doctor who's found the easiest way to get a degree for such a so-called complicated and difficult science where you have to earn your degree through 5-6 years of studies. How did he manage to get it so easily?
How did he manage to get it so easily? How did he manage to get it so easily? And the question is, how did he manage to practice for almost 20 years in some of the best hospitals in Kolkata? That, Dr. Mohandas, is a question as well. Do hold on for a minute, Dr. Mohandas. Dr. Tandon, I'm getting our first caller in on the show. This is Ashwin calling us from Pune. Hello to you, Ashwin. Good evening. Please go ahead.
Hi. Good evening. I got interested, or should I say concerned, whichever you look at it, on the previous show about half an hour back, when I saw the list of doctors and the point of basically it's Bellevue Clinic, which was there in Kolkata. I guess I was there. I had gone there about 10, 12 years back. If it's the same thing which is on the SB Road opposite to Hotel Hindustan International, whatever. Yeah, is that
correct? Absolutely.
Okay. I had some kind of a complication. I walked in about 2005 or 2006, and eventually on seeing I'm basically from Chennai. On seeing the doctor, I actually probably took medication, but it took me, and then I walked out. But anyway, a personal point is not the question. I just want to, I don't want to trivialize it with respect to supply and demand, even though what Dr. Usha had quoted as, if you don't call out data, you will always have these kind of things. Two things. One, I just wanted to say is that there are two extremities. If you look at engineering, about 25 years back in Tamil Nadu, there are about 39 engineering colleges. Now there are 500. So when you have so many people coming out, obviously the quality is going to come down. On the other hand, even though the doctor says that, I think there are a lot of medical colleges also which actually have this kind of a problem in terms of I'm saying quality. But medical colleges are actually, in comparison to engineering, in comparison to other professional courses, so to say, are a handful in number. So therefore, monitoring should not be a problem. That's point number one. And I guess that's the main point which I wanted to make. And in India, I'm saying, like you have mentioned, your data point, there are close to about only 10 lakh doctors, or
it's a good point to make.
Coming out.
It's a good point to make, Yes, it's a good point to make. Dr. Mohandas, I'd want to get you in, and then I'd get Dr. Tandon in. Dr. Mohandas, you have been saying this is about money, this is about money. Is this just about money? The fact is, these fake doctors, these Bengali doctors, these quacks, whatever you may call them, exist because there is a lacuna in India's healthcare system. The fact is, especially in rural India, there just aren't enough doctors. Now, if you don't have enough doctors, there will be that space which is empty, that vacuum which is there, which will be filled by fake doctors. At least there are, those doctors to take care of them, fake they may be. The fact is, the real doctors don't exist in rural India. So, are quacks a necessary evil, ma'am?
Quacks are not a necessary evil. First of all, we should not classify doctors as Bengali doctors and Malayali doctors. Doctors are doctors. All across the world, you have only one responsibility: to take care of illness and ensure wellness. Now, in India, if the doctors and the system itself is sick, then who's going to treat it? Half the colleges belong to politicians. The permissions are given by people in systems. The stakeholders, the representatives who are so-called monitoring, are all mostly nominated by, again, political parties. So you have a hand-in-glove situation where there is mushrooming of colleges. Agreed, we need more doctors. Agreed, we need more rural service. But is this a solution? You have colleges without teachers. You have colleges where students come part-time, forget teachers. We have articles where you have ghost faculty.
Right. Let's get Dr. Tandon now.
Why not get a degree which is for free?
Yes. Let's get Dr. Tandon now, who is the Secretary General of IMA. Dr. Tandon, every year around 55,000 doctors and 25,000 PG doctors are graduating from various colleges in India. When they are graduating, why can't we ensure, and what the government has done now and what the Medical Council of India is saying, that they will ensure that names and the degrees of various doctors will be put online? Why couldn't this thought have come earlier? Why does it need to be, these multiple sting operations and investigations that are done that show quacks functioning as doctors in various institutions and hospitals in India? Then only the medical system perhaps wakes up.
The only problem is that Medical Council of India has been trying to do each and every registration on website. The only thing is that the people are 50,000 doctors are passing out from various medical colleges all over the India, and 25,000 approximately the PG students are entering into the PG courses and coming out. But the list is available with all the state medical council at the different levels. It is not that their names are not there, because everyone who is to practice medicine in any department is to be registered with the state council. That has become a norm practically all over the India. The Medical Council of India is getting registration from all over the India once they are registered with the State Medical Council. Okay. So the State Medical Councils are maintaining the records, and that's how they are actually verifying the members who are being caught at the moment, that whether they are registered with the State Medical Council or not. Okay. The Medical Council of India has got a central register where each and every doctor is to be registered and his name is to be entered along with the qualification. But sometimes, yes, when the post-graduations are being done, they are registered as MBBS doctor and they get a permanent registration as MBBS doctor. And once they clear their post-graduation, then they do register the next time when the registration is open for them as a postgraduate degree.
And all this registration that we
list is always available with the State Medical Council.
Okay, sir, can I just ask you to hold on for a minute? We have Mr. Jagdish Kadakpa, I believe, who is joining us on the phone line. Jagdish ji, please go ahead. Good evening to you and thanks for calling us.
Yes, sir. Basically, this initiative, why can't the government officials make these
Yes, why can't government officials what?
Like this, all the degrees onto this.
Okay, what you're saying is why can't the government ensure that all doctors who pass out of medical colleges, why aren't their degrees online? Dr. Tandon is telling us that that is something that is already in the pipeline in the next 6 months, and this is what the government of India is saying, that in the 6 months they are going to ensure that every doctor who's passing out of medical college, his degrees, his accreditation number, his registration number, they are all there on the website. Dr. Tandon, my simple question to you is, even if the IMA and the Medical Council of India do manage to put all the names and all the degrees and all the registration numbers of all the doctors in this country online, will that be enough? Is the IMA and MCI, for example, in a position to conduct surprise raids, to check on whether doctors, there are fake doctors practicing or not? Are you even in a position to deal with something like that, or do you need a different agency to do it now?
No, there are two things. Medical Council of India is a constitutionally erected body, and they are registering all the doctors who are completing MBBS degrees. And when they join Indian Medical Association, they are filling their forms and submitting their registration certificate. And only with the registration certificate, they are given membership in Indian Medical Association. And whenever there is a suspicion, because in IMA, everybody who is joining IMA, he has to get his form signed by 2 already known members of Indian Medical Association, and that's how we keep check on the membership. We do not give membership to anybody who has not submitted his form, which has been authenticated by 2 old members of Indian Medical Association. So we have a check process, and MCI is also registering only doctors when they get completion from medical college.
These checks that you're talking about, Dr. Tandon,
and then they come to the authorities for joining.
These checks that you're talking about, Dr. Tandon, clearly are not working, and that's why quacks are functioning in top-notch hospitals in India and are passing on as doctors. Stay with us. Dr. Vishal, who is a resident of Jalandhar, is joining us now. Dr. Vishal, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I have a simple question for Mr. Tiwari, that the thing is that it doesn't matter. I mean, the agencies are not working at all. I mean, anybody who's just having a fake pharmacy degree is already, dispensing medicines.
Correct.
So, though I'm living in a very posh city, but still, patients, prefer to go to a quack because it is easier for them. They sell the medicines without giving any prescription, without anything, just in a folder, and that's it. And then these people find it convenient to go there and help them. And it is a duty of the civic authorities to go and check them and conduct raids to stop such quacks. Now, how can we, an Ayurvedic doctor, dispense allopathic medicine?
Correct. And the fact also is that raids are conducted, people tip off authorities about fake doctors, raids are conducted, arrests are made, and what happens? Well, these quacks, fake doctors, call it what you will, get bailed the next day. They are out practicing the day after. So what do you even do with these raids and arrests? Let's get in another caller. This is Dr. Sajid Babu, I beg your pardon, who's calling us from Kerala. Dr. Sajid, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, good evening. Actually, there are three kind of quack doctors to be, in India, working in India. Those without degrees, actually, those quacks like the one that is caught in Bengal. And there are people with degrees like BAMS, BHMS and all. They are practicing modern medicine, which is also illegal. And there are people who have done their degrees outside India. They are supposed to pass the examination FMG that is conducted by Medical Council of India.
Correct.
Those students who have, there is only a pass percentage of 10%, and there are many who hasn't passed this examination and still working as doctors in India. And so there are three big kinds of them. And about the the scarcity of doctors in rural India, actually there are two issues with that. It is not that doctors do not want to practice in rural India, but government, they are not, it is always kind of after the MBBS.
Dr. Sajid, the reality is, Dr. Sajid, you know what the reality is, and we of course are no doctors or experts, but Marya and I both have been reporters, both are reporters, and we have travelled extensively across rural India, Marya. And the one thing you know is, you go to any primary healthcare centre, there'll be a big tala. At a slightly higher level in the district, absenteeism will be almost 40%, and that is an official figure. That's not a figure that's a figment of my imagination. So there is a real problem, and it seems that a fake doctor problem is not just a problem in rural India. The investigation that we've shown you this evening tells you that it is flourishing in metro cities as well, in Kolkata and some of the best known hospitals. I'm going to wrap it there for the moment. I'm going to thank both the doctors on our panel, Dr. Mohan Das and Dr. Tandon. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. With that, Marya, slipping into a quick break on the show.
Yes, and coming up now, there is no support from Rahul Gandhi for Sandeep Dixit. He has been in fact slammed for his comments against the army chief. More when we return. Stay with us.
Welcome back. 24 hours after he called the army chief a street hooligan or a gali ka gunda and apologized, Congress leader Sandeep Dixit is now facing criticism from within his own party as well.
And
Marya.
the criticism that is coming is from the party vice president, Rahul Gandhi. Speaking at a party event in Bengaluru, Rahul Gandhi has said that no politician can comment on the chief of the army, which protects our nation day in and day out. Rahul Gandhi's comments comes as ex-servicemen in fact protested at Rajpath against Sandeep Dixit. The Congress leader apologized for his statement, but the BJP has demanded an apology from Sonia and Rahul Gandhi.
हमेशा सीमाओं पे हमने पाकिस्तान को करारा जवाब दिया है। आज की बात नहीं, ये पिछले 70 साल से चलता आ रहा है। पाकिस्तान एक ही चीज कर सकता है कि जाके इस तरीके की उलझुल की हरकतें करे और अपने बयानबाजी दे। खराब तब लगता है कि जब हमारे भी थल सेना अध्यक्ष एक सड़क के मतलब गुंडे की तरह अपने बयान देते हैं। पाकिस्तान का दे तो दे, वो तो है ही, उनकी तो फौज में क्या रखा है साहब, वो तो एक माफिया टाइप के लोग हैं। लेकिन हमारे सेना अध्यक्ष भी इस तरह के बयान क्यों देते हैं, वो मुझे लगता है।
The intent of my statement was to state that I don't expect the Indian Army Chief to make statements in a particular manner, and perhaps we don't need to. The words I used, and I think the manner in which I conveyed was inappropriate and it was not correct. Regarding any institution, especially an institution we respect and I have a lot of regard for, I think those statements were uncalled for, they were incorrect. There was a language I used which is wrong, and therefore I have no hesitation in withdrawing them and apologizing for that.
आज मुझे प्रेस में किसी ने कहा कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के एक नेता ने आर्मी चीफ के बारे में बयान दिया है। यह बिल्कुल गलत है। आर्मी चीफ हिंदुस्तान के सेना का चीफ है और उसके बारे में राजनीतिक लोगों को कोई कमेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं। तो मैं यहां स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि हिंदुस्तान की सेना हमारे लिए काम करती है, हिंदुस्तान की रक्षा करती है और उनके आर्मी चीफ जो हैं उनके बारे में किसी भी राजनेता को कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं।
Now, calling the army chief a gali ka gunda is as low as it gets. General Rawat represents one of the most respected institutions in this country, and to drag him in the middle of such an unsavory political controversy is simply unfortunate. Joining us on Epicentre this evening, I have Brigadier Mahalingam. He is a defence expert joining me in the studio. Good evening, Brigadier Mahalingam. Thank you very much for being with us. Shama Mohammed is joining us from Bombay this evening, spokesperson of the Congress party, and Zafar Islam is spokesperson of the BJP. I'm coming to the army first. The politicians will fight. Okay. So before they start fighting, let me come to you. You know, most people in this country, Sandeep Dixit of course has apologized. The fact is he made an absolutely stupid comment. He has apologized. Should the matter now rest? Or has the damage been done?
No, the damage has been done. You must understand the army chief represents 1.4 million troops.
Correct.
And in fact, the army men, when I say men, officers, JCOs and other ranks, have no other channel. They are not represented in the parliament. They cannot go to the media. They sort of totally depend on the army chief, when you sort of degrade him and denigrate his status, that is very bad, and the troops take it very badly. I must also tell you, I have been in touch with some of my friend officers who are presently serving. JSU I spoke to. They are absolutely upset. They feel that they are being insulted. That is the way army men take it. Second, see the point that number of these people, which includes Mr. Chatterjee, then Karat, and now this man.
All the left leaders.
Oh yeah, a whole lot of them, and the number of press and number of other media.
No, Brigadier Mahalingam, questioning is one thing. Questioning is one thing.
Right.
I don't think anyone in this country, it's a democratic country, everyone in this country has a right to question.
Yeah.
But I think to insult an army chief and to use the sort of words that were used, to call him a gali ka gunda, that was crossing a line.
Absolutely, that is crossing a line, and besides that we must understand, see what Karat made a mention, saying that he is speaking the language of the Prime Minister, that is Modi. Now we must understand that the army takes orders from the government. Let me give you two examples. One is the case of Sri Lanka. When in the Sri Lankan case, the army was first told by Rajiv Gandhi to go in. The army went. And when VP Singh came in, he said, come back. The army came back. Army takes orders from the government. And Modi, unfortunately or fortunately, represents the government. Therefore, you can't find fault with the army and
Shama
sort
Mohammed.
of say such nonsense.
Okay, let me get Shama Mohammed now. Shama Mohammed, it takes your party vice president 24 hours, over 24 hours to respond to this. And clearly, as Brigadier Mahalingam was saying, 1.4 million troops. Their morale has been impacted. And is just an apology enough?
I agree with Brigadier Mahalingam. It's a reprehensible, condemnable statement done by Sandeep Dixit. We have condemned it. We have all come out.
24 hours late.
The party has condemned it. The vice president has said that
the top
it should
leadership
not be.
of the party.
Let
the
me
top
speak,
leadership
please.
of the party
And
takes 24
he's also
hours.
condemned it.
He was contemplating over it.
We have come out as spokespeople, have condemned it. It's 24 hours. He was not contemplating. Listen, let me tell you, the Congress party, when somebody in the party does something wrong, they condemn it and they tell that he is wrong. Now, let me say, one should not politicize the army. Please, let's leave the army out. Let's not discuss, continue to bring in the army here. And after 2014, it has been politicized. Having said all this, I'm completely against the statement of Sandeep Dixit. But I want to bring out something. When the surgical strikes happened, our defense minister said, the army has got prowess just after the surgical strikes. Wasn't that also insulting the army? So nobody do that. And there are many other instances which I do not want to bring up because I don't want to make it a tutu meme thing. So the language, of course, is condemnable. Very bad, very wrong. Of course, I agree with you. It's reprehensible. That's what's the first word I use. Condemnable, reprehensible. Nobody should use such a language. I'm totally with Brigadier Mahalingam in this. I'm agreeing to it. It should not be used ever, especially against our army general. He's the topmost in the army. And of course, he commands such a big force. I am in total agreement to it. But I must also say that there is no point flagging a dead horse. He's apologized and I think the case is closed out
so
here. He's apologized.
What Shama,
and that's about
Shama,
it.
Of course he's apologized. There's no doubt about that. He's apologized more than one time. The BJP is saying this apology will not do. We want Sonia Gandhi to come out and apologize to the entire country. Will she be doing that?
That is ridiculous. I'm sorry, that is ridiculous. Because it's not the party which has said that. No, it is not with the backing of the party. Why should Sonia? That's ridiculous. I'm not even going to get into this argument. That's nonsensical. Sonia Gandhi need not come out and apologize
why do you want
for it. It's
Sonia
just,
Gandhi to
BJP's
apologize?
diversionary tactics. I'm sorry. I'm not getting into this nonsense.
Okay, it's nonsense. You're calling it nonsense.
Nonsensical thing.
All right. Zafar Islam, respond to that. Shama Mohammed is saying it's absolutely nonsensical for the BJP to ask Sonia Gandhi to apologize for a statement that a Congress leader has made in his private capacity. It's not the party's statement, it's his private statement. He said something stupid. Why should the party be blamed for it?
Well, I think Shama Mohammed must know that the entire nation is in state of shock. It was quite shocking that he has compared the army chief with the local goons. the man on the street who is a goon is being compared with the army chief is something, is not an insult of the army chief alone, but the whole of army. And by condemning this statement by Shama Muhammad, or for that matter Sandeep Dixit, realizing that he had made a mistake, will not do.
No, but are you not politicizing the
Rahul?
No,
Rahul
Zafar Islam. No, Zafar Islam.
No, Rahul Gandhi.
Zafar Islam. Just one quick point.
Just a second.
If the leader in question, if the leader in question has apologized within hours of making that statement, he has realized that it was wrong for him to say what he did. Why are you politicizing it? Correct. Why not let go of it?
Well, Marya, we are not politicizing it. It's an insult to the army, it's an insult to the nation, and you must realize that nation is in a state of shock, and Rahul Gandhi is distancing from this statement after 24 hours. That shows that they have absolutely no respect for the army, and that is why he took 24 hours to even distance from this statement, not even apologizing for.
Are you not taking it too far? Okay, there is a question that is there from Brigadier Marya.
No, not
just a minute.
And secondly, one more thing.
Just a minute, Zafar. I think Brigadier Mahalingam wants to come in.
See, I am with Zafar.
One more statement.
Ek minute, Zafar.
I am with Zafar for the simple reason. This gentleman Dixit was elected from Congress party's ticket. He is a congressman.
But he's not an MP, sir.
He represents the party. And the Sonia Gandhi being the head,
not a member of
she
parliament.
is accountable for whatever her people are saying. There is no question of a party member speaking whatever it is and getting away with that. Now, what I would say, that she may not like to come and openly, publicly say what she did. She has to, all that she can do is to at least write a decent letter to the army chief and say this is what had happened, forget the issue. At least this much she can do.
So the BJP is asking for apology from the Congress President and the Vice President.
She can write a letter, a decent, polite letter to the army chief and explain the position, leave it at that.
Right, but will the BJP stop at that, or nothing short of an apology from the party president will help?
Marya, you have heard how the Congress spokesperson was speaking. Nonsense, stupid, all these words he was using to discard your statement.
I have not used the word stupid. I'm sorry, Zafar. Marya, I'm not going to stay in a debate where he's accusing me of something which I have not said.
No, you said you used the word
stupid. I'm not going to be
you use the word.
I didn't use the word stupid.
Zafar, just a minute. Okay, both of you, please don't fight about what words you use. Let me clarify it for you. I use the word stupid and Shama used the word nonsense. So let's not raise the decibel level of that.
Instead of making a polite statement that
I have not used that word.
It is the responsibility of the party leaders and vice president to at their discretion to apologize or not apologize.
I don't think that
she is saying that it is nonsense. It is nonsense. Yes. It is nonsense for them, for the Congress party, because they feel pride in insulting the Indian army, and that is what they have demonstrated. That is what their spokesperson is exhibiting here.
The criticism is, Zafar, that it is the present dispensation that has politicized the Indian army. Ever since 2014, the Indian army is being seen as a topic of discussion because of the present dispensation.
Actually, Marya, if you really ask anyone a man on the street and ask him whether the Indian army, how does the Indian army feel post 2014, they will say, every man on the street will say that the Indian army feel their morale is very high. They feel confident because the Indian government has a leadership which lends a lot of comfort to the Indian army.
Okay, Zafar Islam, you made your pitch.
Indian army has never.
All right, you've made your pitch.
I need to rebut.
Shama, we are completely out of time. I'm afraid I don't have time to give you, but thank you very much for being on the show.
No, 1 minute. You have to give me 10 seconds.
All right, 10 seconds.
Don't insult more.
Zafar Islam, 1 minute.
Congress party is always been with the army, like you said. No, Zafar doesn't allow me to talk. So after 2014, it has been politicized. criticized, and also remember PM Modi has compared the Indian Army to the traders take more risk than the soldiers. The traders take more risk than soldiers. We don't want to politicize. From 2004 to 14, it has never been politicized.
All right,
so they are politicizing it.
Shama,
we don't want to.
I think both of you have
done it.
Politicized the army. It's time both of you stopped it.
We respect the army and we want it to be left alone. Please,
we are out of
BJP,
time. Thank you very much. Zafar Islam, thank you very much.
Like to tell.
Thank you very much.
Please do not
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much for being on the show. Thank you very much. I mean, you know, I always hate to shout over the guests, but well, Malingam, thank you very much. But this was the problem. This is the problem.
Thank you. I agree with you. I agree with you.
This is the problem.
All right, we are slipping into a short break. Coming up, the fight for the AIADMK symbol gets absurd. The Law Minister of Tamil Nadu bombards the Election Commission with 4 truckloads of affidavit. We will get you details when we return. Stay with us. And getting you more news now, the merger talks between the O Paneerselvam camp and the EPS camp have broken down. The Tamil Nadu Law Minister, in fact, was in New Delhi at the Election Commission to stake claims for the 2 leaves symbol of the AIADMK.
And in a move that was worthy of 1 million headlines, Mr. Shangumam from the EPS camp reached the Election Commission of India in Delhi with 4 truckfuls of affidavits laying claim to the AIADMK symbol. He says he is in possession of 3,10,000 affidavits of the party cadre. The OPS camp is saying they have more than 1 lakh. And this is a bit shocking. 2 Gujarat cabinet ministers were caught on camera attending an event to felicitate exorcists. Yes, you heard that right. The video has now gone viral. Just take a look at it closely.
In this video, you can see Gujarat Education and Revenue Minister Bhupendra Singh Chudasama along with the State Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Ataram Parmar, who are seen on the stage watching a couple of exorcists beating themselves with metal chains. Later, around 100 exorcists can be seen shaking hands with the ministers on the stage as part of their felicitation.
All in the spirit of science and inquiry, Marya.
Yes, where they did
politicians do the darnest things, I say.
And they get away with it. With that, we have come to the end of this edition of Epicentre. Shreya and I will be back with you again tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. Arunodaya is up next.